It's Dr. Venkman.
Bill Murray is a legend in the global film industry, an outstanding actor who has brought many vivid characters to life. He knows how to walk the fine line between the tragic and the comic, but along with great talent, he's got a tough temper, which often brings him trouble. We'll talk about all this in our video. Bill Murray. How the main Ghostbuster lives and where he spends his millions. William James Murray was born in Evanston, Illinois on September 21, 1950. He is the fifth of 9 children of Irish Catholics Edward and Lucille, whose ancestors emigrated to America at the beginning of the last century. Our hero's father sold wood, and his mother worked at the post office and ran the household. Soon, the family moved to the northern Chicago suburb of Wilmette, where Bill spent his childhood. The family was not wealthy, but united. Religious traditions were observed at home, and all the children attended a Jesuit school. At the same time, Murray Sr. had a peculiar sense of humor, often confusing the rest of the household. But not Bill, he always managed to make the head of the family laugh. By the way, Murray's specific jokes will later cause him a lot of trouble. The future actor grew up as a slob. He skipped classes, got bad grades, and loved to draw caricatures of teachers. The boy also enjoyed reading biographies of American heroes. As a teenager, he was the lead singer of a rock band called the Dutch Masters and attended the school drama club. But it was not the art that attracted him, but girls. At the age of 17, Bill lost his father, and the financial situation of the family became even worse. To pay for his studies, the guy worked as an assistant on the golf course and then fell in love with the sport. After finishing school in 1968, at the urging of his mother, Murray entered Regis University in Denver, where he took a preparatory medical course. Once away from home, he broke bad and instead of studying, had fun with friends. After dropping out of school, the guy returned home, making a living off some odd jobs, and soon followed the advice of his older brother and joined the improvisational theater troupe of the Second City Theater in Chicago. By the way, in addition to Bill, 3 more sons of the Murray family devoted their lives to the acting profession. In 1974, the aspiring actor moved to New York City, where he became a member of a comedy radio show. The same show was presented on the theater stage, and the next step in Bill's career was participation in the variety show Saturday Night Live, hosted by Howard Cosell. As the host was a well-known sports journalist with no experience in comedy, the show didn't last more than 1 season. But the creators of another show with the same name on NBC noticed the young talent and invited Murray to the main cast in 1977. Bill spent 4 seasons on the show, gaining wide popularity among television viewers and earning an Emmy Award as one of the writers. At the same time, he attracted the attention of film producers. At first, however, he was offered small roles, such as the role of a radio host in the mockumentary The Ruddles, All You Need Is Cash, or a traveler in the comedy Meatballs. Interestingly, at the same time, in the late 70s, Murray played in one official minor league baseball match as part of the Grays Harbor Loggers team. The club's managers decided to carry out a marketing stunt by inviting a famous actor, which, however, did not save them from disbanding after a few years. But they did fulfill the dream of our hero, who to this day loves baseball. In 1980, Bill starred in the sports comedy Caddyshack, voiced the animated picture The Missing Link, and also played the legendary gonzo journalist Hunter Thompson in the movie Where the Buffalo Roam.
Get a grip, Thompson. Come on. Just a deadline. You got 2 hours till the presses roll. Come on. Shut up! You'll get words when I want to give them to you!
The actor became friends with Hunter and wouldn't get out of character for a long time. He and the real Thompson constantly arranged competitions to see who was the bravest. Once, for a dare, Murray was tied to a chair at the bottom of a pool, but he failed to repeat Houdini's trick, and Thompson had to intervene to save his friend from drowning. Next came the military comedy Stripes. The actors had big problems with discipline on the set. After the death of John Lennon, they went on a bender for 2 weeks. Also, Murray constantly improvised, which irritated his scene partner Sean Young to the point of terror. On January 25, 1981, while filming Stripes, the actor married his high school friend Margaret Kelly. In 1982, the couple had a son, Homer, and 3 years later, the family was added with another son, Luke. Meanwhile, on the set, improvisation became the hallmark of our hero. For example, in the 1982 movie Tootsie, he did all his lines impromptu. As a result, his role, although not the main one, was remembered by the audience. A true success came to Murray with the sci-fi comedy Ghostbusters, where he was entrusted with the role of the leader of a brigade of fighters with paranormal phenomena. The actor replaced his late friend John Belushi. To stir up interest in the movie, an intriguing commercial was launched. In it, the traditional phone number for films that starts with 3 5s was replaced with the real 1-800. Attentive viewers who called this number could hear a recorded message performed by Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd. The unusual advertising campaign and the exciting story did their job. The movie immediately became a blockbuster.
Right here, Ray. It's looking at me.
He's an ugly little spud, isn't he?
I think he can hear you, Ray.
Don't move. It won't hurt you.
Murray received his first Golden Globe nomination and earned about $75 million thanks to generous payment terms that included a percentage of the proceeds. Such income was just in time, because the actor agreed to play the affectionate parapsychologist not only in memory of Belushi, but also to finance another project. Murray starred and co-wrote the screenplay for the film adaptation of Somerset Maugham's The Razor's Edge. The film was made before Ghostbusters but couldn't be released. Thanks to Bill's investment, the premiere took place in October 1984, but the picture failed at the box office. 2 years later, the actor appeared in the musical Little Shop of Horrors, in which he once again demonstrated his talent for improvisation. And 2 more years later, together with his 3 brothers, he starred in the fantasy Scrooged. Long breaks between projects were due to the fact that Bill devoted himself to travel, as well as the study of philosophy and history at the Sorbonne. At that time, he had already become famous throughout Hollywood as an actor who is indifferent to the laws of show business. Murray doesn't have an agent, and you can contact him by leaving a message on the answering machine. Because of this, he missed several interesting offers. For example, the main role in the comedy Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But he is still pleased with this state of affairs. Bill drew attention to himself again in the summer of 1989 when the audience saw Ghostbusters 2. The sequel was slightly less commercially successful, but Murray got paid $7 million plus a percentage of the box office receipts. As a result, the actor earned about $50 million. A year later, the crime comedy Quick Change was released, in which Murray was the leading actor and also helped with production and directing.
I said we're closed, bozo.
I wouldn't. And that's Mr. Bozo, okay?
Say that. That's right. It ain't quite closing time yet.
It's funny, but the new status helped Bill save $150. The fact is that his Audemars Piguet watch needed to be wound, if not worn, for a long time. The actor hated that he had to give the accessory to the service after each of his shootings, so he decided to come up with the scene in Quick Change in which his watch would be present. Meanwhile, Murray's fees grew with each movie. While he got $8 million for the 1991 comedy What About Bob?, the Hollywood classic Groundhog Day brought him $10 million. His great duet with Andie MacDowell left no one indifferent, and many critics consider this work the best in the career of our hero.
I don't know what you mean.
Don't mess with me, pork chop. What day is this?
It's February 2nd. Groundhog Day.
Yeah. I thought it was yesterday.
Oh,
The actor himself highly appreciates the picture, considering it one of the masterpieces of world cinema. However, it also made him part ways with director and screenwriter Harold Ramis. The former friends hadn't spoken with each other for 20 years and reconciled only shortly before the death of Ramis in 2014. Our hero has a difficult personality, but in 1993, he was especially nervous and quick-tempered due to big problems in his personal life. His wife Margaret found out that her husband had an illegitimate son, Caleb. The boy's mother was costume designer Jennifer Butler, with whom the man began an affair during filming. Margaret immediately filed for divorce, but it ended only 3 years later with the payment of an impressive compensation. During this time, Bill and Jennifer had a second common son, Jackson. Bill's filmography was then replenished by the films Mad Dog and Glory, Ed Wood, Space Jam, and Kingpin. In it, as almost always, Bill improvised in every line. He would read the script, get the gist, and come up with something of his own. The comedy directors didn't mind, believing that Murray was funnier than the writers. In 1997, Murray and Jennifer Butler formalized their relationship. In the same year, their third son, Cooper, was born, and a few years later, they had their youngest son, Lincoln. Then, the actor starred in the films The Man Who Knew Too Little, with Friends Like These, Wild Things, and Rushmore, released in 1998. Wes Anderson didn't even hope that a star of such magnitude as Bill Murray would read the script of his new project. But it turned out that he highly appreciated the first work of the director and not only agreed to play for the minimum fee of $9,000, but also became a regular actor in Wes's movies. Rushmore brought our hero laudatory critic reviews and a Golden Globe nomination.
But here's my advice to the rest of you. Take dead aim on the rich boys. Get them in the crosshairs and take them down.
In 1999, the actor presented the book Cinderella's Story, My Life in Golf, in which, along with an autobiographical story, he published an essay about his love of golf. At the turn of the century, Bill Murray appeared in such films as Cradle Will Rock, Charlie's Angels, Hamlet, Osmosis Jones, and Speaking of Sex. In addition, in 2001, he once again worked with Wes Anderson on the tragicomedy The Royal Tenenbaums and performed in the off-Broadway production of The Guys. In 2003, the actor presented two works at once, a collection of short films, Coffee and Cigarettes, and the melodrama Lost in Translation. The role in the latter was written specifically for Bill, but he wouldn't give in for 5 months. The creator of the film, Sofia Coppola, even had to use some of her family connections to persuade him. It is this work that Murray considers his most outstanding. Film experts seem to agree with him, as the actor was nominated for an Oscar and also received a Golden Globe and a BAFTA award.
Lip them? What?
Lip them, like this. Lip them.
Rip them?
Lip, yes.
You want me to rip your stockings?
Yes, rip my stockings, please.
Rip your stockings?
Yes,
You want me to rip
please,
your stockings?
please,
Oh.
please.
All right, I'm going to rip your stockings.
Yes.
And you tell...
In 2004, the main character of the animated film Garfield spoke in the voice of Bill Murray, and Wes Anderson invited him to play a role in the film The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. By the way, during the filming, the actor became a certified submariner, having spent more than 40 hours underwater. Then came the pictures Broken Flowers, The Lost City, Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties, The Darjeeling Limited, Get Smart, and City of Ember. Meanwhile, our hero's second marriage also collapsed. Jennifer left her husband in 2006, taking 4 children, and filed for divorce in 2008. The reason for the gap was the numerous infidelities of her husband, his addiction to alcohol and illegal substances, as well as violence. Bill paid his ex-wife $7 million in compensation. Soon, the audience saw Murray's new film works, the thriller Limit of Control, the comedy horror Zombieland, the drama Get Low, and the fantasy Passion Play. In addition, the actor voiced the hero of Anderson's cartoon experiment, Fantastic Mr. Fox. The first half of the 2010s turned out to be full of premieres starring our hero. So in 2012, the comedy drama Hyde Park on Hudson was released, where Murray played President Roosevelt. For this role, he was once again nominated for the Golden Globe. In addition, the actor presented the pictures A Glimpse Inside the Mind of Charles Swan III, Dumb and Dumber 2, St. Vincent, The Monuments Men, as well as Wes Anderson's masterpieces Moonrise Kingdom and The Grand Budapest Hotel.
I'll explain everything. Your train departs in 4.5 minutes. Here's your tickets.
Oh, third class.
It was overbooked, but the conductor used to be a sommelier at the old Versailles. He pulls some strings. You'll need these for the dining car.
Bill's filmography did not do without some TV series. He can be seen in the projects Alpha House, Olive Kitteridge, Parks and Recreation, Angie Tribeca, and Vice Principals. Also in Murray's filmography is the melodrama Aloha, the musical comedy Rock the Casbah, the holiday show A Very Murray Christmas, and the reboot of Ghostbusters with a female cast. And in 2016, the actor gave his voice to Baloo in the animated picture The Jungle Book. In 2017, Murray recorded the studio album New Worlds, with singing and literary recitations with musical accompaniment. Over the past 5 years, our hero has worked in such films as Zombieland Double Tap, The Dead Don't Die, and the comedy drama On the Rocks, for which he was nominated for a Golden Globe. In this movie, you can see a photo of Bill and Barack Obama playing mini-golf. This is a real photo taken at the White House when the actor was awarded the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor. In addition, the artist starred in 5 episodes of the series The Now, the comedy drama The Greatest Beer Run Ever, and the sequel to the franchise that made him famous, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Murray admitted that it was physically difficult for him to act in it. It was extremely inconvenient to wear heavy backpacks. He often fell and a strong wind blew in his face due to special effects.
Yeah, I mean, we're all pretty dang special down here. On a personal note, I thought that we had busted up for good. I mean, it wasn't working for me. My friends didn't think so. I know yours did.
Okay, playtime's over. Let's toast this muffin.
In recent years, there have also been a couple of works with the favorite director. Bill has teamed up with Wes Anderson again for the animated film Isle of Dogs and the comedy drama The French Dispatch.
1 hour to press.
You're fired.
Really?
Don't cry in my office.
Most recently, the world premiere of the superhero action film Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania took place, in which Murray played the role of a villain. Planned projects include the cartoon Bureau of Otherworldly Operations and the comedy drama Being Mortal. There's been a huge scandal associated with the latter. The famous actor was accused of inappropriate behavior and the shooting had to be suspended. Bill molested the young assistant director. He threw her on the bed and tried to kiss her. They were both wearing masks. Murray, in his own defense, said that he was trying to make a joke, but the world has changed a lot since he was young. To hush up the scandal, the actor paid $100,000, but the resumption of work on the film has not yet been announced. This was not the first scandal. More than 30 years ago, on the set of Bill's first and so far only directorial project, Quick Change, he was bothering actress Gina Davis, insistently offering to give her a massage. Once he broke into her trailer wearing a clown costume and started yelling at the girl, after which he took her outside, where hundreds of extras had to watch the weird prank. The actress admitted that she was literally shaking from Murray, and he himself made excuses that he did something funny but it was perceived in a wrong way. Another confession was made by actor Seth Green. Then the 9-year-old artist worked with Murray on an episode of Saturday Night Live. The boy sat in the seat of his senior colleague, but Murray yelled at him for this and threatened to ruin his life. When Seth refused to get up, Bill grabbed his leg, turned him upside down, and dunked his head into a trash can. Green cried for a long time after this incident. The actor points his anger not only at colleagues, but also at fans. Once, 3 people tried to take a selfie with him at a rooftop party, but Murray didn't appreciate this and threw away all 3 phones. Apparently, Bill himself knows his problems, so he didn't start serious romances with women after his second divorce. In an interview, he admitted that he didn't have the strength to simultaneously control his emotions and build a relationship with another person. Our hero still finds relief in golf and baseball, and he was able to turn his hobbies into business. Bill co-owned several baseball teams across America and launched his own line of golf sportswear in 2016. By the way, this sportswear brand somehow illegally used the music of the Doobie Brothers in its commercial, and the case almost went to court. The actor also invested in the restaurant business, which he runs with his brothers. He also tried to enter the NFT market, but for charitable purposes. As soon as Murray's NFT auction, which raised about $185,000 for charity, was closed, a hacker stole the funds from his personal wallet. Bill Murray's personal capital is estimated at $180 million. It's mostly earned from film jobs and business investments, but there was also a case of advertising integration in the career of our hero. Fiat Chrysler was able to persuade the actor to do several commercials at once in 2020. The first one was based on the film Groundhog Day, and more short videos were soon released with the support of the government, reminding people to stay at home. In them, Murray either stayed in bed or went outside for a minute, considered his act, and returned inside. By the way, the lockdown, which Bill also observed, worked for the benefit of the company's marketers because they could simply call the actor at home and quickly get his consent. Actually, it has not been specified where exactly the star was reached because he has real estate throughout America. Murray has had homes in Los Angeles, in the Greenwich Village area of New York City, South Carolina, Massachusetts, and California's Santa Fe County. The most famous home of the Hollywood star is in the New York suburb of Palisades. The two-story cottage, built in 1868, is made in the Victorian style and is called the Pastor's House. Inside, it has 5 bedrooms, a spacious dining area, and outside, there's a large garden. The actor reconstructed the old building, modernizing it a little bit, but at the same time leaving the historical decor. Stucco molding, high French windows, and glass doors to the garden. The media reported that this house was put up for sale for $1.7 million in 2018. The cars that have been spotted in Bill Murray's garage include a Chrysler LeBaron, the Jeep Gladiator Rubicon he advertised in 2020, and a vintage Maserati biturbo built in the 80s. The actor loves this car and often gets behind the wheel. Our hero is a joyful man whose tricks, however, are not always appropriate in the modern world. Nevertheless, he remains the favorite of millions. Why do you love Bill Murray?
I'll bet you're going to be thinking about me after I'm gone.
I bet I am.
If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything interesting.